Well, we're going into a completely new era that is amazing, and I want to share with you the absolute secret that when I share this with you will make perfect sense. If you do not participate in this, you will absolutely remain in the dimension, the existence, the reality, call it what you will. Names are not really important. And you will not experience the transition of the planet like others will. This is just how it works. It's pretty mind-blowing, but very simple. You get to choose. It's been happening. It's getting more powerful and accelerating. Are you ready to explore this? Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. Break through fear. Everything I do, everything I teach, shows you how the fear and the low vibration that we inherit when we walk into these bodies is not a barrier to anything. It's just an experience. We allow it to control us. We believe it. And belief is everything. Belief is what fuels your thoughts and thus your actions. What are yours today? If you have taken my free video series, you know that I give you all kinds of tools to break that chain of thoughts, to observe it and understand it. If you do not do that, and it is your choice, you will not experience a completely different life that others are experiencing right now. What is it? What is that secret? I'm going to explain this to you because you already know it, but maybe not quite like I'm going to present it. You know what a hologram is. If you take a picture and you chop it up, no matter how many times you cut up a holographic picture, every piece contains the whole picture. You can actually see the whole picture. How's that possible? That's what all of this is. You can separate us into humans, different humans, trees, blades of grass, little bunnies that hang out here, all you want. Every piece, and every piece within each of us, molecule, whatever, contains the whole picture. What is the picture? Light. And we are one energy contained in every individual, seemingly individual piece. And of course we cut it up. Yes, this is a separate piece. But it never escapes the oneness and wholeness that it is. No matter how many times you cut it up, you can't get the one part of that picture to stand alone. It's impossible. It's that simple. It's impossible for you to separate yourself from anything else. No matter what you do, no matter how many times you try to accelerate your abundance or get the better job or whatever it is you're going after, you are never standing alone. Everyone and everything is affected by what you do. Your intentions are extremely important. And you can have all those things in abundance and health, wealth, all of it. But when you go after it with an individual frame of mind, in other words, I believe that I stand alone, then you will experience the reality of someone who lives that way outside of the wholeness. Now, you know I'm calling 2023 the year of collaboration and community. When we pull the pieces together, we create the whole picture. And it functions perfectly because it is not operating as a whole when we cut the fragments out. It still is the whole. You see that picture, the whole picture. You can't separate it. But it doesn't operate as a whole. When you bring it back together, it becomes 100% powerful back to what it originally was. We are the experience of the fragments. And so when we recognize the whole, we actually energetically go into a power that is beyond human comprehension. And therefore, your power is no longer your reality of individualism. It's tapping into every other piece, which means it's you and you get to use that power. So no matter what skill or what somebody else has that seems better than you, you are actually part of that energy field. So it's not separate from you. Nobody has an advantage. Nobody gets punished. I know we think individually, but it's me, and why is this happening? And because we can't possibly find value in things that cause pain. Why does it cause pain? Because we as humans allow it. We're doing it. Nobody else is doing it to us. So when we see that, that is a seemingly individual energy field making a choice. None of it has to be. And we, if we come together as a whole, can end that. But not because we want to force our individual thoughts and beliefs on that, because we don't feel that there's value in that experience, but because we want the other to know that they are not an individual. They don't have to live in fear or anger or hate, and that they are part of the whole. So then we give that love, we send that love, we connect to that love and that compassion, and then they make a different choice. It's really that simple. And so, therefore, you're going to see the entire planet start to change, because we will no longer be battling one another for the material world, or my wants, or my opinions, or my whatever. I did a video on conspiracy theories, and so many were still arguing. The arguing was irrelevant. And like I said, no one really has the answers. My point was, what are you focused on? So if you're focused on the negativity and not the solutions, you're fueling it, and no one will have those answers. And people will sit and argue all day about it, and that is separation and fragments of the whole. And my point was that it is part of the fear-based information, like you said, whether it's real or not, still fear-based. So you can say, well, that is real, but the fear-based information you're receiving is not solving a problem. We want to come over here and say, if this is happening over here and our planet is being polluted, what am I doing to change it? Because people will talk about the toxins in the air, but then they go and they put bleach in their laundry. We're not looking here. We're not looking here and saying, I'm the whole that's affecting everything out there. Now, if you go into that space and you see everybody as not only part of you, but the power that you tap into, not taking somebody's power. You can't really do that. If we're one, you can't take somebody's power. They are just as powerful as you. You have to believe that to make it happen. That's another experience. Somebody sucks my energy. No, they don't. You have to give it for that to happen. And you will, yes, be affected by other energy fields, because we are in human bodies, and that is real. But when you are in a state of power, nothing can harm you. And you will be the change that will absolutely transform the entire planet. And you got to know it. And I'm telling you right now, you are so powerful. There's nothing you can't change in your life. Nothing. You're perfect. You can't be anything less than perfect. If you don't think so, then you're calling the one, well, made mistakes. The one doesn't make mistakes. There are no mistakes. There's no chaos. Chaos is organized. I'm telling you that we are going into something so powerful, and it's accelerating. It's been happening. Many people feeling it and living it right now. It's not something in the future. If you aren't experiencing it, it's time to shift over, if you choose, if this is what you want, shift into that powerful place of unity and look around and say, we are not fragments. We're a hologram, and I'm in everything, and everything's in me as one whole thing. Not fragments of me in that, but the whole of me is in that, and that whole is here. It just appears in a different form, but is not. You know, everything's made up of stardust. You know, I have friends that tell me they're starseeds, and I said, well, what are we? What are we? You know, something that got plopped off here on Earth. We're all from stars. And what are the stars from? Something incomprehensible. You can't know it. 3 most powerful words, right? I don't know. As a human being, you just have to say, I don't know. That's what faith is. I call it the knowing. The real enlightenment, true enlightenment, is a knowing that there aren't answers. You don't have to know anything. You don't have to define something or analyze it or label it or separate it. I'm advanced. I'm a starseed. I'm this. And we have all these names, including the 3 waves of volunteers that Dolores Cannon taught about. People would use that to separate themselves as something that was maybe more better than others. And we aren't. No one is. That bum on the street that you say should go get a job that stinks could be an angel walking around to test all of us to say, can you love me too? Because that's the ultimate test. We're all perfect. You're perfect. You're perfect. When you recognize that, there's nothing you can't do. I'm teaching people advanced manifesting now. I have a course coming out called Activate Your Magic. But here's the key, and that's what this whole video is about. If you don't go into that space of total acceptance, of not having to know anything, of opening yourself up to what if, because the mind wants to define things. This is how I'll be happy, and this is who I'll be happy with, and that job's the one. Pfft, limitations. Go into the space of not knowing. And that is what I call the knowing is you have no more questions. You just are. And everything will flow to you. And if you don't go in that space, you can't go into advanced manifesting, because the techniques that I teach in that course, well, you can't have limitations or ideas about how things work. You got to let it all go. And it will flow to you, because that power that you are is unlimited. Unlimited. Are you ready to play out this role of the piece of the hologram? Play it well, my friend. It's beautiful. You can have a lot of fun with it, and you don't have to struggle or suffer anymore. Right? Suffering, struggling against something that's saying it shouldn't be, is what causes pain. Suffering, you don't have to experience that. Know that everything has purpose. What can I find in it? And what can I do to contribute in the most beautiful way to be great? Because I already am. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.